One thing about Simbang Gabi is that just a few hours ago, I developed a topic that has to do with the three readings, but which I am loath to be repeating as the second time around on the same day. So I'm trying to refocus my short reflection this morning on something that I might have left out for earlier today at 4:30. It is so encouraging to see so many coming to Mass for Simbang Gabi, both at night and in the early dawn. And this morning is no exception despite the rains, the ultimate fury that the young people call, they are referring to, I think, to video games or computer games. And this is the ultimate fury of Odette that has ravaged a great part of Central Visayas and Northern Mindanao, Northwestern Mindanao, or Eastern. I would like to talk about grace moments. And grace moments have to do with the capacity to see more, not less. When somebody like Mary, called by no less than God through the message of an angel, and gave her a mission that was like no other. The reaction of this young girl, no more than 14, 15 years old, was to travel to the hill country of Judea in haste. First, a little word about Judea. Judea is the territory of Judah, one of the 12 sons of Jacob. And Judah was not the best among the 12 brothers, but Judah was chosen to become the ninuno, the scion, the avenue, the way, the means by which the Lord in His wisdom and in His mercy chose to save the world. And Judah represents that place in Palestine, in Israel at the time, in biblical times, as something that has no promise. And those of you who have been to the Holy Land would know what I'm talking about. Even up until now, the hill country of Judea is not a rich place. It's not a place of promise. And even now to go there, it's a little bit difficult with cars and buses. And can you imagine a 15-year-old girl bearing a child, traveling, jumping up and down, going up and down the hill, the hilly country, bulubundukin ng Judea, and traveling, and the word used by St. Luke is traveling in haste. Nagmamadali po. There is divine urgency. When you talk about a mission that God has entrusted to you, and it cannot be postponed. Hindi pwedeng papetex-petex, hindi pwedeng mamaya na, hindi pwedeng saka na lang, hindi pwedeng manyana, tomorrow, hindi pwedeng bukas, hindi pwedeng saka na, teka muna, wait lang, salita ng mga bata ngayon, wait lang. Ayaw gumawa agad, utusan mo, wait lang, tawagin mo, hindi sasagot. Tanungin mo, saan ka nagpunta? Diyan lang. Anong ginawa mo? Wala lang. Kumusta ang party? Okay lang. Diyos ko, ano kayang ibig sabihin ng mga bata sa okay lang? Wala lang, diyan lang. Yan ang, pero si Maria ay nagmadaling naglakbay patungo sa bulubundukin ng Judea. Haste. What response can you make to somebody who goes in haste in order to help you out in your moment of need? You do hospitality. And this is exactly what Elizabeth did. Mary in haste, Elizabeth doing hospitality, welcoming her cousin. And reversing roles. Why? Mary was 14, 15 years old. She has to give honor to her cousin who was probably in her 60s. mid-60s. On top of that, Elizabeth may sinasabi, mahalagang tao. Bakit? Asawa ng isang naglilingkod sa templo. Ang asawa niya si Zacarias ay isang high priest. In other words, kung sino man ang dapat nagpugay, ay dapat ay yung mas bata. Walang kamuang-muang, napaka-inosente, napakabata. Pero anong nangyari? And this is the grace moment of one who is attentive enough to see the hand and the finger of God, even written by a lass of 15 years old. Blessed are you among women. Oh my God, this is honor that is accorded somebody who does not deserve honor. Why? She is much younger than Elizabeth, but Elizabeth found it in her heart because she saw the grace moment, a moment of visitation, the finger of God so clear to her. And therefore she blurted out in honor of the younger woman, "Blessed are you among women." But then on second thought, it was not at all about Mary. It was about somebody else. And blessed is the fruit of your womb. Yung ating mga kapatid ng mga membro ng kulto, lagi na lamang tayo yung pinagdidiskitahang sumasamba kay Maria. Hindi. Sinong may sabi? Blessed are you among all women, yes. But that is not the final chapter. Blessed is the fruit of your womb, because the fruit of Mary's womb. I get annoyed by this as a teacher, but as a priest, okay lang. Now I lose my thread of thought, and it's about me, it's not about you. I lose my thread of thought. Binati ni Elizabeth ang batang-batang si Maria, at hindi ito tungkol kay Maria. Ito ay tungkol sa kung sino si Maria para sa Diyos. And Elizabeth saw in that moment a moment of grace, not just a moment of visitation. It is a moment when she was filled. Filled with what? With humility. You have here honor that is due to a woman blessed among all women. And you have somebody who deserves more honor than she, who went down in humility. And that is what you do when you meet God. When you meet God, you realize you are just nothing. You're a speck of dust. And being a speck of dust, then you begin to wonder, why does God love me so much? Why does God take notice of me? Why does God give importance to me? And this is the grace moment of Elizabeth, because she gave honor to the one who deserves it. And by giving honor, she was no less. She grew great in her humility, because humility is greatness. Humility is greatness. When nobody notices you, nobody takes you seriously. I always say this. I say this just to illustrate the point of how people can be mean to each other. Nung kami bagong salta sa poblasyon Makati, galing sa bulubundukin ng Cavite, okay? Because Cavite is divided into two areas, Upland Cavite and Lowland Cavite. Yung mga taga-lowland medyo angat, kami mga taga-bundok, medyo baba kami, okay? Alam ni Ed Mojado ito, no? Mga Kabitenyo. Kung kaya kami sa bulubundukin, so nung kami bagong salta sa poblasyon Makati, ang tanong lagi sa akin ng mga kapitbahay namin, Toy, taga saan kayo? Taga Cavite ho. Okay na sana yun eh. Ang problema may dagdag. Cavite. Ay maraming tulisan doon. I have never seen a tulisan in my life. I didn't even know what it was. Pero Cavite had a bad reputation. Maraming tulisan sa Cavite. Young as I was not even grade 1 then. I thought there was something wrong, but I couldn't put a handle on it. And now I do. It's the meanness of human beings to other human beings. I didn't even know what a tulisan meant. My dear friends, let's learn a lesson from Elizabeth. She was catapulted in honor because she was the wife of Zechariah, the high priest. She was 60 plus years old. If there was anyone who needed and deserved honor, it was her, to be given by a young lass of 15 years old. But then, one who traveled in haste, she replaced it and returned it with something more important. She gave her hospitality and much more. Blessed are you among all women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. I'll end with the story of Anne Russell Miller. Anne Russell Miller was born of privilege and wealth. She wanted to be a nun as a young girl, but at 20, instead of becoming a nun, she fell in love with Richard Miller, the owner of PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, a millionaire, a multi-billionaire. And Richard and Anne Russell had 10 children, 5 boys and 5 girls. At 61, on the top of her fame and wealth and worldly honor, she was all over Europe. She was throwing parties everywhere in America, in 5-star hotels. At age 61, she made a lavish party in one of the most expensive hotels in San Francisco. She was saying goodbye. And she said, "The first 30 years of my life I spent for myself. The second 30 years of my life I spent for my children. But the last 30 years of my life I'd like to spend it for God." She said goodbye and entered the Carmelite monastery in Illinois. Honor, when you have so much honor, think about the grace moment when you are called by God to do the opposite, and go down in humility. And when you have honor that you say no to, because you feel deep in your heart that honor and glory and worship is due only to God and not to me, then you become great in the eyes of God. And then together with Mary you can say, "My soul glorifies the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God my Savior, for He has cast the lowly to high places and thrown the mighty to the depths." This is a grace moment that I'd like us to feel today.